Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Ying's live in Tel Aviv with a chilling new report on Hamas's new directive for the remaining hostages. Trey.
Yeah, Todd, Carly, good morning. The psychological warfare of Hamas continues. Overnight, the group released a statement from their military spokesman, Abu Abaida, saying that militants guarding the hostages in Gaza had been given new instructions about what to do if Israeli forces approach. They insinuated that more hostages would be killed if the IDF tries to rescue them. Now, the statement came after the funeral was held for American citizen Hirsch Goldberg-Polin in Jerusalem. Thousands of people lined the streets to pay their respects as his parents eulogized their son. Once again, Hamas tried to pressure Israel during this time by releasing a new video showing the hostages alive. After the execution of these 6 Israeli hostages, there are new questions about how the war will end. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke overnight at a press conference. He made clear he's not willing to compromise on the issue of the Philadelphia corridor, a strip of land between Gaza and Egypt where Israeli troops are currently deployed. The Israeli leader adding this.
Citizens of Israel, we are in the middle of an existential war. The first condition for victory in this existential war is the security of our security and unity. We have to stand together as one person against a cruel enemy who wants to destroy all of us without any exception.
Overnight, I received a statement from a senior Hamas official who blamed Israel and America for the deaths of these hostages, but they provided no evidence. And it gives you a sense of where Hamas stands on actually wanting to end the war. They would rather threaten Israel and the remaining hostages than make a deal at the negotiating table. Todd,
That's
Carly.
A very good point. Trey Ying's live for us in Israel. Trey, thank you so much. Let's bring in Dan Hoffman, who is a former CIA station chief. He joins me now. Dan, good morning to you. The murder of these 6 hostages, it's just the ultimate gut punch, and it's something that I think a lot of people are thinking about throughout their day and just wishing so deeply that there was a different outcome. And yesterday, President Biden was asked if Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is doing enough to bring these hostages home, and he said no. So what about that? Is he not doing enough? And if so, what more could Israel be doing?
Yeah, look, it's tragic that we lost these 6 hostages, and Hamas is obviously responsible. They're a terrorist group, and this is what they do. And Hamas, look, they're going to lose every single tactical battle in Gaza, but they are winning the narrative, as we see on the streets of New York right now. Hamas knew that by killing these 6 hostages that they would drive up the pressure on Prime Minister Netanyahu, that they would drive up the pressure within the Democratic Party on our support for Israel. And I think that's behind this. It's also what was behind Hamas releasing those gruesome videos after they brutally murdered innocent Israeli civilians on October 7. They wanted Israel to invade Gaza, and they knew that it would result in the deaths of innocent Palestinians because Hamas is deliberately embedding themselves with those citizens, with those Palestinians, and that would also serve their narrative. And that's sadly what we're seeing playing out right now. But look, they're a terrorist group. Prime Minister Netanyahu knows something about negotiating, even with the terrorist group. And back in 2011, he gave up 1,000 Palestinians in order to get back one Israeli soldier. So it kind of stretches the bounds, I think, of realism to say that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not doing all that's possible to gain their release. Israel's mounted a number of raids to release hostages. But again, negotiating with a terrorist group, that's just extraordinarily difficult, and it's not going to result in what we would like to see.
Yeah, you know, Dan, about the messaging war, it's true. And even the phrasing of the question that the president received yesterday is notable, where the reporter asked, is Benjamin Netanyahu doing enough? Not, is Hamas doing enough to come to the negotiating table and end the war? And as you and Trey both said, it's because this is a war that Hamas wants. They want to win this messaging and narrative war, and so far, they have. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is under so much pressure, not just from the United States, but also in his own country. There have been protests over the weekend. The UK is now withholding weapons. So what do you think he does next? Do you think he signs a ceasefire deal? And if so, and Hamas has remained intact, could another October 7th happen down the road?
That's the challenge we face, how this ends. And what Hamas wants is a full Israeli withdrawal from Gaza. They want a full ceasefire as well, so that even though Hamas, which has been degraded, will be able to remain in power in Gaza. That's what they want after all of this. And Israel cannot allow that to happen. And so I think that's the challenge we face going forward. I don't see Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu giving up on that. But the challenge for Israel as well is that is the amount of time that this has taken, and former President Trump has emphasized that as well. We're looking at almost a year of hostilities in Gaza, and the longer this goes on, I will say, the more that it serves Hamas's ability to drive the narrative and make it difficult for Israel internally, because we've seen protests there, as well as for the United States and the United Kingdom. And that's what Hamas is trying to do, to hang on and increase the pressure by driving the narrative that they've successfully been able to do thus far.
Well, yesterday, the Prime Minister said, "My heart and the hearts of the nation is broken into segments, into fragments. Hamas will pay a very heavy price for this," meaning the 6 murdered innocent hostages. We'll see. We'll wait and see what that heavy price will be. Dan, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.